What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. And you know, I could have talked about this like I do sometimes in the menus and going over things, but I figured it'd be a lot more interesting to talk about this with gameplay in the background, you know, just having some good old gameplay in Palace of the Dead with me, you know, grinding through, watching out for falling off cliffs with, you know, the guys and all the perils and things of Palace of the Dead. So, as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to give you a list, because it is quite a big list actually, of all of the debuffs, the status effects, that I find are just useless, that have no value, and are pointless to use. Now, this list is kind of big, and there's actually a lot, because there's a lot of them that do the same thing, and they just don't work. So, first off on the list is we have Spoil Heal and Spoil Spell. Now, I've never used these. You know, at first I thought Spoil Heal was kind of worth it because it weakens the target's healing magic. But if you don't want the target to heal, just kill them, right? Like, if you're going to take a turn to use an item or whatever and make an enemy unit, cleric most likely, not be able to heal that well, that's a turn you could have just used to do damage and probably took away at least half their life and then finish them on the second turn. They're not going to live long enough for 2 turns, you know what I mean? So, it's kind of pointless to use Spoil Heal. And then Spoil Spell, magic attack power is reduced. It's the same kind of principle. You're going to waste a turn, you know, weakening the target's magic attack power. And at the same time, you could have just did damage and most likely took away at least a third, if not a half of their health. Because casters, you know, they take damage pretty heavily, you know, they're not very tanky, so you can take them out in 2 to 3 hits, maybe 4 if you're unlucky. So yeah, both of those are just, they just seem pointless, unless you're just, like, I don't know, just trying to roleplay or something, I guess. And another one is Stagger. Stagger, which makes a unit less able to dodge melee attacks, is also pointless because the accuracy mechanics in the game and the chance to dodge and all that are, like, totally just broken out of the window. None of them make sense. You know, like, your chance to miss is so minimal. So any kind of debuff that lowers, that gives an enemy, makes you harder to hit or them easier to hit, it really don't matter. Because unless there's a level difference, you know. Spell Slip, it's the same thing but with magic. Now, magic accuracy might be kind of a little different. I haven't really messed with it too much. So, I mean, that might, like, make it so you're harder to hit. You know, or, you know, they'll miss you more likely. But I know, like, with bows and melee weapons, ranged attacks, it really doesn't matter. So Spell Slip might be okay, but I still don't think it's worth using. And then Misstep, unit is less able to dodge. Like I said, same category. It's another one of those things that relies on the accuracy, you know, avoid agility, which those stats and all that stuff's not totally working properly, so it really don't matter. False Flight, False Strike. Unit's accuracy with ranged attacks is worsened. Unit's accuracy with melee attacks is worsened. Like I said, anything that fits into accuracy, these are all accuracy ones that are all just, they're pointless. They really, really, really are. You know, and I really thought in the beginning, like, it'd be so cool to do that because think about it. You lower your enemy's accuracy, now they're, like, never hitting you. And it's like, that to me, that would be super strong because it's like, here's this unit that can hit really hard. Now its accuracy is reduced and it has, like, I don't know, a 50% chance to hit me. That's not that good, which means, you know, it's a good debuff because, like, 1 out of every 2 or 3 chances of them smacking you, they're gonna miss, you know? But that's not how it works, unfortunately, and a lot of people have tested that and found out. If you guys don't know about, like, the accuracy and the evasion and how avoid status, or your avoid stat and your agility stat, they don't scale properly, and they don't really make an impact, and I've made a video on that. I could always make a newer one, I guess, with more updated information, but they don't really work properly, which is really sad. And finally, the last skill, which this one might not be totally useless, but I find it to be, is Lead End, which, the effect of gravity on the unit is exaggerated, and they become heavy. And leaden units may only jump up or down one space, severely restricting their movement on maps with a lot of different elevations. So this map, for example, a leadened unit might have a disadvantage going up or down elevations. But it's really only useful on elevation maps, and even then, I mean, you can argue, is it even worth doing over attacking? Basically, a lot of these debuffs that I've mentioned, or conditions, we'll call them conditions, because that's what the game calls them, the turn it would take to apply that is a turn you could deal damage. And 9 times out of 10, that damage is going to be efficient enough to take away 30 to 50% of the enemy's hit points, which in turn just makes the debuff redundant because the next time you get to attack the enemy, they're dead. You know, if you focus 2 or 3 of your units on a single enemy unit, they're knocked out, you know, so I don't know what you guys think. You have to let me know, but do you agree with my list of units? Are there more status effects, more conditions that you do not use that you think are useless? This is just my list of the utterly most useless ones. There are ones that I feel aren't as good, but these are literally pointless to me. I don't know why they're in the game. They just serve no value other than to maybe meme or be silly. It's kind of crazy, honestly. And look at that. I finished the battle in time before I even finished the video. That's how good I was. But I'd love to know your thoughts, your input, your comments, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, later, guys. Peace.